multiplication with decimals. So now what we're going to be talking about is how to combine these two concepts that we're working on, which are multiplication and also decimals. And it's one thing to actually break it down into two different steps, really, because for a problem like this one that's right here, one way of thinking about it is it's really just 412 times 3, and then we've got to deal with these two decimal places. So when we do the math here, what we end up with is 3 times 2, that's 6, 3 times 1, that's 3, 3 times 4, that's 12. Then, for here, these two decimal places, my decimal starts here. I've got to move it over 2 spaces. So my final answer is going to be 1236. For this next problem, I'm just going to change it to 205 times 4. Then we're going to deal with these two decimals afterwards. 4 times 5, 20. 4 times 0, 0 plus 2 is going to be 2. 4 times 2 is going to be 8. And now I've got to deal with these two decimals. 1, 2. So my final answer is going to be 8.2 or 8.20. Last one here, 7.56. But we're actually not going to make it 7.56. It's 756 times 7. Then we've got to deal with the two decimal places. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 5, 35 plus 4 more is going to be 39. 7 times 7, 49 plus 3 more, that's 52. And then we got to deal with those two decimal places. So it's going to be 1, 2 over, so it's going to be 52, 92. One thing that's really important is checking to see if these answers make sense. Does it make sense that a number close to 4 times the number 3 is going to be close to 12? Yes. Does it make sense that a number close to 2 times 4 is going to be equal to about 8? Yes. Does it make sense that a number close to 8 times the number 7 is going to be close to 56? Yes. And that's what all that says. Now these are similar problems, but they're a little bit different in that the decimal places are actually spread out in two different numbers. But we're still going to only move two decimal places. We're still going to multiply the numbers as if they were just regular numbers and then deal with the decimal points afterwards. So let's look at this. 98 times 79. So it's 9 times 8, that's 72. What's 9 times 9? That's 81. Plus 7 more, that's going to be 88. Now we're multiplying by 70, that's the reason why I got to put that 0 there. 70 times 8 is going to be 56, or 5, it's going to be 560, but 56, so it's going to be a 6 there and a 5 up here. That for a second. 7 times 9, 63, plus 5 more, that's going to be 68. So this is going to be 2, this is going to be 4. 8 times 8 plus 6 is 14, so carry the 1. 1 plus 8, 9, plus 8 more, that's going to be 17. And then carry the 1 again, so that's going to be 7, 7, 4, 2. But then we got to move over a decimal point 2 spaces. So 77.42. And does it make sense that 77.42 would be my answer for this number here? That's 10 times 8 almost. And so yeah, it makes sense of that. That's pretty close. I'm going to do this next one using the lattice multiplication method because I know some students like to use that. 73 times 46. And so in lattice, we're just going to do, what's 6 times 3? That's 18. 3 times 4, that's 12. So the 1 and the 2. 6 times 7, that's going to be 42. 4 times 7, that's 28. And I just start adding up the lines there. This first one only has one line, so it's 8. Everything below there. Everything between these two, it's going to be 2 plus 1 plus 2, that's going to be 5. Everything between these two, that's 1 plus 8 plus plus 4, so that's going to be 13, so I put a 3 here, and I add one more here, and that's going to be 3. So my final answer is going to be 3, 3, 5, 8. And then decimal point wise, I got to move it over 2 space 1, 2. I got to deal with that at the end. 33.58. Okay, so does that make sense as an answer? Well, this is 7, this is 5. So yeah, it does make sense that it's about 35. So that's how you do it with these sort of problems here. Let me do one more, a little bit more complicated. So what you'll notice in these problems are that there's not only 2 decimal places we got to deal with, there's actually 3. There's 1, 2 up there, and there's 1 there. So you got to deal with 3 decimal places. Sometimes I like to write that off to the side. You don't have to as long as you remember it. And now I'm just going to do the math. So it's going to be 234 times 93. 3 times 4, that's 12. 3 times 3, that's 9, plus 1 more, that's 10, so I have it like that. 3 times 2, that's 6, plus 1 more, so 702. Now I add the 0 because I'm multiplying by 90. So 9 times 4 is going to be 36. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 3 more is going to be 30. 9 times 2, 18, plus 3 more is going to be 21. So let's look and see if this works now. This is going to be 2, 6, 7, 2, 1. And then we need to move over 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3. So my final answer should be 21.762. And that is what the final answer is going to be. And that makes sense because this one here, this is like 2 times 9, so that's about 18. So that seems about right. The same thing would happen if I was doing last multiplication. I'm actually going to show you how to set that up using the same way here. So 2, 3, 4, and 93. So that's setting up lattice. Okay, 3 times 4, that's 12. 4 times 9, that's 36. 9 times 3, that's 27. 3 times 3, that's 9, so 0, 9. 3 times 2, that's 6, so 0, 6. 2 times 9, that's 18. Okay, so now let's add them all up. So everything below the green line, that's just 2. Everything between the green line and this yellow line, that's going to be 6 plus 1, that's 7, plus 9 more, that's going to be 16. I got to add 1 more there. 1 plus 3, that's 4, plus 7, 11, plus 0, still 11, plus 6, it's going to be 17. I have 1 more here. So 1 plus 2, 3, plus 8, that's 11, plus 0, is still going to be 11. That's 1 here, and then 1 more up here. That's going to be 2 here. And as you see, my answer still is 21762. But I've got to deal with these 3 decimal places, so 1, 2, 3. So it's 21762. 762. So that's how this works in terms of multiplication. These problems here, just do them methodically the way you would do any multiplication problem, and then deal with the decimal points afterwards. For here, you'd have 3 decimal places you got to move. For here, again, you'd have 3 decimal places you have to move. So that's the whole idea of this, and good luck on completing the homework.